Hello, welcome to Miniatures Rundown, the podcast where we give you the rundown on miniatures. Name's in the title.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm all right. Happy Pride Month.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who are not watching the video version, I'm wearing my Distressed Ace D20 shirt.
We have a non-video version?
Near as I know.
I don't think we do. I think it is just video.
Okay.
But that being said, there's a whole lot of video podcasts that I put on audio and don't watch.
Yeah, that I figured we're probably in that rotation for some people.
Because I'm too busy painting.
Right. I'm too busy. Sure, painting.
So, news this week.
Yeah, hey, we got a bunch of news.
There's something about a horse.
Yeah.
Committing heresy?
Hearsay, I think it is.
Oh, Horse Hearsay, yeah. Horse Hearsay, the wonderful tabletop miniatures game where you get to paint a horse in real time, but you don't know exactly what it looks like. Your partner has to describe it to you. Mm-hmm. Write that down. I got a great idea. No, it's...
Hear me out.
It's Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
We are neck deep in Horus Heresy bonanza, right? Like, this is GW's...
Yeah.
They're making Horus Heresy a thing.
Yeah.
And they're going full out, pedal to the metal.
Absolutely full bore on this. Let me tell you, I was not expecting to wake up this morning and see a plastic Leviathan Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sent that to one of my other guys, and he was just like, oh, mama.
Because I was very cynical.
Yeah.
I assumed that what they were going to do with Horus Heresy was they were going to release this plastic starter box, new plastic Marines, upgrade kit, couple tanks, and then the rest of it's going to be, go to Forge World, buy it, and shell out the money. No, there's a new tab on the Warhammer site, gamesworkshop.com. It's now 40K, Age of Sigmar, and then third place is Horus Heresy. They're going full out. This is the new game from Games Workshop, functionally. I know it is still Warhammer.
Right.
30,000, whatever.
30,000, yeah. 30K.
But, yeah, as somebody who is completely uninterested in Horus Heresy, I still think that's great.
I do too. And as somebody who is interested in Horus Heresy, I have to figure out what I'm going to paint this army.
See, that's why I'm not interested in it, because it's like, I don't want to have to pick one. I want to paint Pizza Marines.
Yeah, there you go. Look, nobody will stop you. They will, however, give you very funny looks.
They're the 20th Legion, the Lost 20th Legion. You know, that massive Warhammer faux pas where you make your legion one of the two Lost Legions.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that. Just upset everybody.
The 20th Legion is the Alpha Legion.
Oh, no. Okay.
It's the 1st and 11th.
1st and 11th?
Yeah.
Gone?
I think so.
You sure it's
or
not
no,
two?
2nd 11th.
Second, there you go. There was a 2 in there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, no, see, that was the joke, is that the 20th Legion, Alpha Legion, is actually the missing Legion.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm also tired of all the Alfarius jokes, I gotta say that.
Yeah, no, those memes are dead. That being said, yeah, hey, cool. Big stonking new tank in plastic, sweet, the Leviathan Dread, the thing that every aspiring 3D designer has made first and foremost.
Oh, so you want to have a Patreon? Well, you're going to start with the Leviathan.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Oh, yeah.
Not Leviathans, but Patreons and 3D printings thereof.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was kind of expecting that this box set would be parted out, and then they'd have the expansion kits for the troopers, and then they'd put out, they'd keep producing the troops. At this point, I think we're in a Brave New World. We might get an entire range of Horus Heresy era Marines.
That's what it looks like to me.
It sure looks like it. Now, and this is a holy grail that I've been chasing for a while. They're bringing out Azek Ahriman.
Yes.
Before he went full chaos, spiky bits.
From what set was that? That was like a set 6 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he somehow never came out on his own? I guess because he was only in Heresy. That was a Heresy version of Ahriman.
That was the issue. Yeah, that was from the Burning of Prospero.
There you go. I like that mini. I might pick him up.
I love that mini. I had it for a while. I put it in my Thousand Sons army before. This is a 7th edition, by the way.
Yeah.
Played with it once or twice. Got tired of it. Sold it off. Regretted that I didn't still have that Ahriman. But now he's coming back out, so you better believe that's day one perch for me. I'm not even playing Thousand Sons. I just want that cool mini.
Yeah. And I will say that as someone who likes Tzeentch and Thousand Suns, but I
Yep.
really don't like, I've said before, I don't like the helmet design on the Rubric Marines.
Oh, that's fair.
If I ever play Thousand Suns, it'll be using these minis.
Oh, all right, there you go.
I don't understand why, after being turned into dust, they all upgraded their helmets to be these weird Egyptian things.
It was in memory of Lost Prospero. There was some weirdo at the top of the food chain who was just like, what if I just changed all their helmets?
Oh, God, it's fashionable. Now we have to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, most of the news for the last 2 weeks has been Horus Heresy Bonanza. It's been a little sad to me because I want the Skaven book to come out and I want the new GHB for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, that'd be
I suspect those will come out in the 2 weeks after Horus Heresy drops.
That's my reckoning as well.
We'll get to Skaven more later.
Yeah.
But other news. What have we got?
Steamforged Games.
Oh, yeah.
Has its new Kickstarter out and it's funded and it's fine. Cool.
Yeah, so speaking of nostalgia bait, like
Yeah.
Horus Heresy, my nostalgia bait was a Kickstarter went up for the RuneScape board game. Now, let me tell you, when I was in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, RuneScape was my jam because I didn't have a real computer, but RuneScape could run on a potato.
Yeah.
Steamforged Games does all the video game board games.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Horizon Zero Dawn, all 3 Resident Evil games, and there's another one that I just can't think of.
There's another one, yeah. Oh, Monster Hunter World.
God Tier.
Oh, God Tier, yeah.
They did God Tier, which is not a video game one.
Yeah.
It's their own one.
But,
So, yeah,
but I also did Monster Hunter World.
Steamforged Games regularly produces these board games with lots of minis, and they're always pretty nice.
Yep.
They have a very standard, what's the word? Modus operandi at this point.
Yeah.
Which is, here's the game, here's a bunch of expansions,
Yep. Give us money.
give us money.
This is the stuff you want.
It's only a 10-day run on Kickstarter.
They don't need it.
They don't need it's more, I mean.
It got funded in a half hour.
Yeah. If you look at the breakdown of who's funding it, like last night when I checked, it was like 300 people had funded just the core box.
Right.
150 had funded just the gameplay.
Uh-huh.
And then 3,000 people had funded the all-in. Because the people who are going for this are going for
Going
all-in.
ham.
Yeah, and getting all the expansions.
Steamforged Games knows exactly what they're doing.
Now, Steamforged Games did also, if I recall correctly, was the one who's published the recent Dark Souls RPG, which less good. But board games, their board games tend to be good.
Their board games are fine.
Dark Souls, the board game, I've not played it. I've heard it adhered a little too closely to the prepare to die mindset and was not fun. Bloodborne, though, I've heard was much better.
Right.
I've heard very positive things. I've played the Resident Evil ones. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It felt very Resident Evil. I should bring in that, too. Yeah. We should play it because it's very Resident Evil of, oh, God, I'm out of ammo. Yes. It's hard in a very fun way.
Good.
So I hope that this one will be the same. I am backing it because despite having not played RuneScape for probably 5 years at this point, I have a soft spot in my heart for that.
Only 5 years?
That stupid little game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a friend who played it in college.
Really?
And he turned me back into it.
That's weird.
Yep.
All right. Well, fine. Very good then.
Happy Pride Month, Armadillo. No one is going to get that except if you played RuneScape.
Anyway. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
It's a little less minis intensive than a lot of their other games.
That's good.
It does look like it's leaning into the funny parts of RuneScape, which is great. Other Kickstarter board games.
I kickstarted one very recently called Clash of Katanas, which is based on Clash of Spears. Waiting for that to get. So that's out of backer kits in production now. They've got their stuff going. I have so many things that I've kickstarted that are just like still on the way
in limbo.
Well, not even in limbo, just getting produced. Like the worst one that I ever, and I mean like this was not their fault, but I kickstarted Giga Robo when it first came out. I moved twice in the time it took for that game to come out.
Yeah.
Well, and of course they sent this stuff to the Chinese manufacturer, and like the dude who their direct contact point was feeding them bullcrap the entire time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the guy at the top, so there was like a middleman who was running the plant who was giving him these god awful miniature sculpts, and then the guy at the top was being shown the good ones.
Yeah.
So it's just like this utter cluster frag.
Yeah. Flustercluck.
Yep.
Probably the biggest Kickstarter news that's gone up since we had last recorded is Rivenstone.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you. Now, you are not familiar with Rivenstone.
That's correct.
I'm going to show you the pictures while I talk about it. At least just the pictures of the factions that you can scroll through and you can give me your opinions.
Oh, yeah. No, I like...
There's lots more.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at this. Like, what is that? What is that game that nobody plays anymore? Yeah, War Machine.
Oh, War Machine. Yeah. Well, speaking of war something.
Yeah, I like War Machine.
A lot of people
I don't like War Machine.
Yeah. A lot of people have said that Rivenstone looks very World of Warcraft in its aesthetic.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can kind of see it. It's not a ripoff, though. This is not like going on to one of those Patreons or My Mini Factory where it's clearly somebody just doing, like, just
WoW
doing
minis,
WoW minis.
Though you would be forgiven for thinking so.
Yeah, some of them are pretty. The dwarves, especially, are pretty darn.
I was going to say the orcs, the not orcs.
Oh yeah, the Norks.
Orcs.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Anyway, you've probably heard of Rivenstone though, because they pulled all the stops out as far as advertising to people. They got tons of content creators to paint these things.
Oh.
Rivenstone is I don't know, the aesthetic doesn't appeal to me. I didn't back it. But I will say that this is an example of how Kickstarter is primarily nowadays an advertising platform, and the way to get a successful Kickstarter is to advertise the heck out of it.
Yeah.
And they did, and it succeeded, and it's gone into production and everything else. I mean, good for them. It's not my bag, but I know lots of people who are genuinely excited for it.
Yeah.
I think that's it for crowdfunding.
Yeah, I think that's it. You said you had something else. I don't know.
News-wise?
Yeah.
What do we got written down?
Too many games.
Oh, that's our topic.
Oh no, that's not the top. Yeah, derp.
That's our topic.
There's a convention that's held in I think Pittsburgh called Too Many Games, and so I immediately just that's what that means.
Not
no,
our topic for today is Too Many Games. And the title of this episode is Too Many Games. So you probably knew that.
Yeah. No, didn't you have some other Kickstarter news, or was that the Rivenstone thing?
I think that was Rivenstone.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was Rivenstone and RuneScape and yours.
Yeah.
Were the ones that I was familiar with.
Yeah. Anyway, let's throw it to something else now.
Yeah, so the topic of today, and it's kind of fitting that we talk about all those games we just talked about.
Yes.
Because when we say too many games, I'm not asking, are there too many games out there? The answer is no. There are never enough games. More games for the games gods.
Games for the games gods. Games
but I
for
do
the
think it is
sculptor.
possible for you individually to have too many games that you want to play at once.
Yes. I completely agree. Now, we might be... I mean, we're filming in the back of a board game store, friendly local game store.
Sure, this is our...
I want you to keep this well in mind while we're complaining.
This is our primary hobby.
Yeah.
For some people, it might not be. But I don't think that changes anything. For me, that just changes that your threshold for too many games is probably lower if it's not your primary hobby.
Very true.
But so let's just list off the top of your heads, what games are you actively playing right now?
Warhammer 40,000 with multiple armies. Warhammer Age of Sigmar with multiple armies. BattleTech. Necromunda. Horus Heresy soon.
Yep.
That's 5
Battlefleet
games.
Gothic?
Battlefleet Gothic, you're right. Yeah.
You've been posting a lot of Battlefleet,
That's
man.
true. That's true. It's to the point where I forget what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah. Arguably, I think those are the ones that I am most apt to talk about and most apt to have news about.
I guess we should say,
that's
what
6.
are you playing regularly right now? All 6 of those?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I guess it would be Age of Sigmar,
Yeah.
Necromunda,
Yep.
and that's pretty much it for
Okay.
me. I think I have a much lower threshold on the amount of time I can play games regularly.
Right.
Now,
I have a work from home job, so I can just sit around and paint models all day.
there's
long.
other games I would like to play.
Right.
Kill Team,
Yeah.
Warcry, 40K maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll get you. We'll figure it out.
Stargrave and Frostgrave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How many games? And now we get to like how many games do I own?
Yeah.
That I'm not playing.
Yeah. Blitz Bowl, Blood Bowl. I just picked up Hero Quest. We got Dragon Strike sitting down there, which is basically Hero Quest but with a VHS tape included. You've got stuff like I have 3 or 4 games in my car. I picked up 5 or 6 games at Adepticon alone.
Yeah. So at Adepticon, I think I picked up the 2 games, Shovel Knight and the Oh, I can never remember the name.
The not Shovel Knight thing.
Yes.
The one, the cool one.
Yeah.
LeCluck's Revenge. No,
yes,
that's the expansion.
That's the sequel. That's not out yet.
Yeah, the Saturday morning cartoon one.
Yes. I picked those up.
The one with the zombie otters.
We've opened a few board games that I've kickstarted here.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein.
Yep.
The Empire's Fall.
Yep, that one.
I have.
What up, Lee?
Yeah, I have BattleTech.
Yeah.
I don't really play BattleTech, but I have it.
Yeah. We'll get you in it. Don't worry.
Then there's things like Cav that's upcoming that we talked about.
Yep, I got that one too.
Miniatures games, board games. I've got like a bunch of Elder Scrolls minis that I haven't played anything with. Armada, remember Armada?
Oh yeah, I got that too.
I haven't even put that together.
I put mine together.
Star Wars Legion.
Shoot, that's another one. Yeah.
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 I love that game.
Yeah.
I just picked up a spider bot because Miniature Market had a sale on Legion. I picked up the spider bot.
Is it still going?
No, sorry.
Damn it.
And they were out of everything. Fuck. Yeah, by the time I got to it, they were out of everything.
All right.
There was other stuff I couldn't get because it's like, the Persuader tank. Oh, and they're gone.
And it's gone.
I've got minis that we're going to talk about today. I've got the Knockdown from Awakened Realms board game that I kickstarted. It just came in.
Video coming soon.
So we own way more games than we're playing.
Very true.
So first question, how do you decide what you actually are going to devote time into playing?
Well, I have a very specific way that I do this. In that I have one. So I'm the 40K guy around this joint.
Yeah, you're a little.
I am a special case, but
we'll call it a 40K community leader in the area.
Yeah. I'm the guy who makes everybody come in on Monday nights and play games, or organizes the fact that there is a space to do it in.
Right.
40K and it's ephemera. But that's I'm not the guy that organizes Age of Sigmar.
Nope.
But but I am the guy that organizes BattleTech. I'm not the guy that organizes Necromunda. The way that I decide what I'm gonna play is that I carve out time specifically to play certain games. Not everybody has this ability, and not everybody is a community leader in their local
Most
area.
People aren't, statistically.
Statistically, yes. If you are, however, you should tell us in the comments below. Call to action, YouTube like. No, but specifically, if you want to play, I find that if you desperately want to play a game, you don't have a scene already, you kind of have to build your own scene.
That's a very different topic.
Yeah.
A much bigger topic.
That goes
so my question is
else,
more how do you decide what you really want to play?
Yeah. Well, the way I decided is are there other people playing it?
So that's, I think, that's kind of what I was getting at here.
Mm.
The first determining factor is,
can I get a game?
Can I get a game easily?
Yes.
And I think that's why many people who are listening, and you and I both, are going to say that the games we play the most are Warhammer.
Yeah. Because
there is an ongoing Warhammer community here.
Yes.
And in most places. There is
Reasonably
not one
so.
for Star Wars Legion.
Not
here.
for lack of trying.
There are in some places.
Yeah. It must be nice. Oh, X-Wing is another game that I have a whole bunch of stuff for. Haven't played that in years.
There used to be a huge X-Wing scene here.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason there was a huge X-Wing singing around here is because Warhammer 7th Edition sucked.
Yeah, it drove people away.
It literally drove people away.
And things do ebb and flow as games ebb and flow. Yeah.
Oh, Marvel Crisis Protocol. I have a bunch of painted minis for that. I haven't played it once. Bugger.
So availability of people, I think, is probably my biggest one. The reason I play Age of Sigmar is because every Tuesday night I can come here and I can get a game.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about organizing one. Whereas Kill Team kind of died off here because I was very, very busy with real life stuff. Real life as opposed to work stuff, and I was not able to be here to be the one to organize, and so it kind of fell off.
Yeah, and that was coming hot on the heels of the edition change.
An edition change that drove some people away, but new people did want to play, but they couldn't. You know, those new people were also very busy.
Yeah.
Because there's this line of where you can have enough time to play, but you don't have enough time to organize. Because organizing does take time and effort.
It does.
Pointed silence.
I mean, what do you need me to say?
Gamers of the world organize and unite.
Yes,
anyway,
obviously. You have nothing to lose but your miniature chains.
Workshop that one.
We're working on it, all right? Anyway.
But even then, like, I guess what I'm asking is I'm getting the sense that this is true. What dictates how much you spend time with a game, how much time you spend with a game, is whether or not you can be assured that you will be able to play it.
Yeah, or in my case, I don't think I've actually gotten my 40K stuff out for like a couple of weeks now. But I've been organizing stuff, and I know that if I want to, and if we don't have enough people to match up, because I want to make sure everybody who comes out gets to play, right? Mm-hmm. I personally know that if I so desire, I can play that game.
And I haven't played AOS in a couple of weeks now because it's the end of the school year, very, very busy. But now I'm hoping to come this next Tuesday because it won't be a giant tire fire, hopefully. As long as nothing burns down the farm again. Not literally, metaphorically. Everything is fine.
Next week might be literal. Who's to say?
They're not that flammable.
There's a lot of hay.
Is straw, not hay. Anyway.
Next.
It's the joke for somebody who doesn't watch this. But anyway, I'm going to come, and I know when I come this Tuesday that there will be somebody to play a game with, no matter what I'm playing. Mm-hmm. And that's very helpful. So, next question, segue. Mm-hmm. How does this influence where you spend your hobby time?
I find that it really doesn't, weirdly enough.
Interesting.
Yeah. My hobby time is spent primarily with what do I need to have done primarily, like what do I need to have done for next time I'm out. Mm-hmm. I had to make sure my Necromunda team was painted.
So it does influence your time
to
an
extent.
You're working on the things you're going to use most imminently.
Yeah. But the stuff that I run for 40K and for Age of Sigmar typically is stuff that I've got done already.
Right.
So, normally, fundamentally speaking, the stuff that I am really, really concerned about is the stuff that I'm going to bring the most and making sure that's painted. Or if it's not painted, how do I change my list to take minis that are already painted because I don't.
I've done that a lot. I've done that a lot. Well,
I do not like bringing gray plastic
or built or okay, well, I don't have 20 adjudicators. Mm-hmm. Vanguard Raptors. Okay,
all right, close enough.
These are really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wait for that GHB nerf to Vanguard Raptors.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get hammered. I am just assuming that they and Fulminators are gonna go down the toilet. Hey, Games Workshop, you want to drop Karazai's points by about 100, please? Yeah. So I can play him and not look at him next to the Incarnate and go, wow, the Incarnate is 200 points cheaper and better.
And better.
Anyway.
Point being,
sour grapes aside. I kind of feel the same way. So for right now, for the past 2 weeks, and I guess we'll talk about this more at the end when we get to hobby time, I've been working on terrain. I have been in a terrain kick. And what were you about to say there?
I was going to say we always need terrain.
Bingo. Specifically Age of Sigmar terrain.
Oh yeah.
We have far more sci-fi stuff back there than we do fantasy-ish stuff.
By a country mile.
Whereas because we don't have a lot of these. We have some of these houses back there. Yeah. They're not painted though.
No.
The ones back there, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about organizing a hobby night where we just grab stuff off the shelf and start painting it.
You and Evan and Kevin need to talk to each other.
And then do we ask Mark or do we just do?
That's the question.
Mark walks in and all of his stuff's painted. What the heck happened?
How'd that happen?
Well, no,
why is our stuff done?
He's going to go, what did you do and why? Yeah, no, we'd ask him first.
Yeah, obviously.
But because if we just had a bunch, 20 people come in, and it wouldn't be 20, it would be 10 people on one of our hobby nights come in and just slap some paint on some buildings.
Just whack it all together, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we do have some of the ancient ruins back there. Yeah. I've got another set of those that I'm painting. Mm-hmm. I painted this. I forgot how.
Get that looked out of there, brother.
So I'm trying to, I should have wrote it down. Mm-hmm. Pro tip, write down your hobby recipes if you ever think you're going to do it again. I forgot I had another set of those. Those are available online on our website, lasercraftworkshop.com.
Yes, please, by all means.
Those are from Printable Scenery. They're very good.
Yeah, no, they're great.
But I'm trying to paint up Fantasy Terrain because I noticed that for fantasy nights, we end up using, it's like Kevin brings in all of his terrain.
Yes.
And he has a lot of it.
Yeah.
But he's only got 2 or 3 tables. Mm-hmm. And then we have a lot of very generic stuff. And I want that non-generic stuff.
Yeah, we need more purpose-built stuff.
So for me, it's dictating what I do because it's also like, yeah, I want to work on this project. For me, what dictates what games I play, it's very much like about community obligations. I am not an organizer in the same way you are. I do that for a living. I don't need to do it here.
You herd cats for a living.
I organize kids. I don't need to organize kids with miniatures. I don't need to organize kids who are 30. I'm among them. It's staring in a mirror here.
Look, all I'm saying is that you run the risk in both situations of having to call the hospital to extract a mini from somebody's butt.
Oh, gosh. That's why they can't. Never mind.
That's why they call me Whiskers.
No, I was going to make it. Never mind. Throw that.
Cut, go. Keep it in, but cut, go.
But, like, is someone relying on this? Would this be beneficial to our community?
Yes.
And the answer right now for terrain is absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, it would. Having some nicely painted terrain, like if I can get this out before the next Age of Sigmar tournament, which I won't be able to because it's in the 24th or something. That's the day after I get back from a 2-week-long trip. I'm not going to have all this stuff done. But I don't leave until next Saturday. So I'm going to try and get as much stuff done before then so I can like maybe furnish a table.
Word.
And really help someone's picture, minis look good on that table.
We should probably pull some of these out here.
Put those on I'm not sure. I think
Mark
wants to maintain display quality. We do need to have a chat with some people about respect of the terrain and the mats.
Yeah.
Because some people aren't quite remembering that these are. Yeah. Anyway,
we'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, so for me, it's like, what's most helpful? So next question.
Yeah.
Is having too many games a problem?
Depends on your living situations.
Yeah. Like, it is tough to look at all the games I own but don't play and go, I could have bought, like, if nothing else, I could have bought more into the games that I do play. Like, if I had not bought all of my, let me see, Armada.
Titanicus is also in there.
Oh, no, what's the Flyer Nauticus?
Aeronautica.
And Aeronautica, yeah. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. I've got it.
If I had not bought that, and everything else, I probably could have bought a full Skaven army.
Could have.
That same money.
Could have. Didn't.
Didn't, yeah. I don't play Kill Team anymore. I still have all the old Kill Team 1.0 edition stuff.
Yeah.
I could have bought a 40k army with that stuff.
Probably.
Because I have a 40k army's worth of minis. It's just in 12 different kill teams.
These things do happen.
Yes, they do. How much of a problem is it? And should we seek to alleviate it? Obviously, Games Workshop is over there going, no. Buy more minis.
Buy more of our minis. And I say, no. Get bent. Drop your prices.
Because there is a problem with buying minis is very fun.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot easier than painting them or assembling them.
Yeah.
Or playing with them.
I find the assembly part to be probably my favorite bit, honestly.
I like assembly. Assembly, you can turn your brain off.
Yeah.
But buying something is just that instant, bam, dopamine. Hit the button on Amazon.
Yeah.
I got something for it.
Me reaping. Ha ha ha, this is great. Me sowing. This sucks.
Other way around. Sowing is putting into the ground. Reaping is...
Whatever. No, I'm reaping my bank account is what I'm doing.
I see.
Anyway. But yeah, like, hey, is it possible to have too many games? Yes, when it's severely impacting the quality of your life.
Yeah. If you find yourself buying 40k minis instead of paying rent, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I've never done that.
Good. I have not either.
Good.
Despite how much I've spent here, shut up, Mitchell. My finances are not in dire straits because of it.
Yes. Promises.
But like, so we acknowledge that maybe having too many games is a problem.
Yeah, it can be a storage problem for starters.
It is for me.
It can absolutely bugger your ability to get anything accomplished. Because, at least if you have a brain that works, and I say works, like mine does, then having too many options is a good way to just sit there and be like...
Paralysis of choice. It sucks.
Yeah. The old analysis paralysis.
So here's the hard one. The one that
Thanks, Radahan.
doesn't have a answer is how do we not have too many games? Because the clear answer is just like stop buying games.
I don't understand.
I refuse to contemplate that.
I don't understand what you mean.
But like, jokes aside, like, and Games Workshop is partially to blame for this because they intentionally set up their release schedule to just be constantly releasing things that you want to buy.
It's ABR, always be releasing.
Always be releasing, always be buying.
Yeah. So it's anecdotal on this one, but I actually had a couple of my friends were over at the apartment there. I was just like, yeah, no, I was working on this. And they're like, so maybe you should stop buying miniatures until you get all the ones that you have painted. And they said the look on my face was like an alcoholic who got told to stop drinking.
We're having an intervention here.
Yeah. I was like, I don't understand the statement.
I'm sorry. You want to rephrase that in English?
I was just like, I don't, that, what? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we're not even talking about piles of shame / potential here.
Yes.
We're not even talking about games like, because there's minis that I've bought and painted just because I wanted to, but not playing them. That's a separate aside.
Yeah. But last time, my last hobby night was entirely devoted to painting 5 Marines for the Labyrinth of the Necrons board game.
Yeah, those 5. I have those.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, they're good minis.
And it's a fun way to paint 4 or 5 different chapters.
Yeah. Up until that point, I had never painted an Imperial Fist, a Blood Angel, a Salamander, a Space Wolf, or a
Ultramarine.
Ultramarine, yeah. Ultra Smurf. I learned so much about how those colors go together and all that stuff that it was I was brilliant. I had a fun time. I will never play any of those armies. Well, I don't know. Maybe I might go into Blood Angels for Horus Heresy. Might go. I think Blood Angels is the only option out of those that I might try. But I'm a filthy heretic, and I'd probably go Word Bearers instead if it was going to paint red.
Fair enough.
Because I have a Chaos Word Bearers army anyway. So.
Segue.
Yeah. Hey, segue. Hobby time.
Hobby time.
Yeah.
I've already really given mine.
Yeah.
I've been working the heck out of some terrain. Pictures. So specifically the Age of Sigmar Extremis box and the, we got one down there. And the Thondian Strongpoint box. So all that terrain.
Yeah.
It's an interesting departure. I have not started painting it yet.
Right.
I've been assembling it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's an interesting departure because it is some of the first terrain they've released in a long time that is new.
Yeah.
Or rather, it looks new in-game. Like, these are not ruins.
These
are Dawnbringer Crusade buildings that are in the process of being built.
they're not ruins. They haven't been started yet.
Right. I mean, they've been interrupted.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge for me because I'm very used to just grunging the heck out of my terrain.
Right.
So I'm going to try painting that white stone. That will be a challenge. I have an airbrush, so it's a little...
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Not what I would
shading
call
and highlighting it will still be a challenge. I'm going to give that a shot.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. I've also got the old Citadel Woods and the newer Wildwoods that I'm painting up just to have as some nice terrain.
It turns out that you can always use more.
Yes. Those were not fun to put together. I think I mentioned that last podcast.
Yes.
The Citadel Woods sucked. But that's been me.
I saw you fumbling with those things the last hobby night, and I was just like, oh, you poor boy.
I took advantage of a nice warm day outside to spray paint a whole bunch of terrain. I've also got those hab blocks that we used for our video on sealing
Yeah.
They've all been spray painted black
corner.
now.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how the heck I'm going to paint those.
Carefully.
But, like, they're kind of lower on the list because, again, I don't play 40K. And those aren't even really mine. I mean, they're for the shop. I just need to paint them, get them out there.
Yeah.
And just have something to help you so you guys have more painted terrain. Yeah. So what have you been doing, hobby-wise?
Well, I've been working on those little minis for starters. That's pretty much wrapped up all of my hobby time because I wanted to make them look good.
Right.
And I had offered this question around to a bunch of folks, like, hey, should I paint these up like, one chapter or no chapter or as their chapter? And the resounding, because the idea of that game is like, hey, this is how you get folks into 40K in general. How do you interest people in it? The idea was like, no, you should paint them up like
And their rules in that game do reflect that.
Yes.
The Space Wolf is better at melee, the Ultramarine commands, the Imperial Fist has a big gun, and the Salamander has a flamethrower.
Yes.
And the Blood Angel guy has an Auspex, but we don't talk about that.
He's the nerd.
Yeah.
Which is weird for a Blood Angel. Yeah. But that was primarily what I was working on. And I was also working on magnetizing and painting up my Battlefleet Gothic army.
Right, because you've been playing with it.
Because I've been playing that pretty substantially. I started out blue and white, and they're still blue and white, mind you. But I ended up being like, I hate the way these look. So I ended up absolutely repainting every single one of those ships.
Sure.
With a slightly different blue that got into the cracks better and popped a little bit better because the paint that I used was really dull and really matte, and I didn't want it to be matte. I wanted to have a little gloss to it. So the next step on that is going to be going over all the whites again. Help.
You could varnish them with gloss afterwards.
I could.
And there's brush on varnish.
Yeah, I know, but mostly
Hard coat, I think it is, for GW.
Hard coat, yeah. I think the biggest problem with that is that the white I was using was not particularly good.
White is very hard to paint.
Yeah.
It's a very hard paint to make. There are like 2 good whites in the whole world
Yeah.
I can think of off the top of my head.
I tend to use Gorgonhide from Army Painter because it has just a hint of blue in it that makes
cold
it
white.
Yeah, it's a very cold white. But it's that little hint of blue in it makes it flow better. So that's usually what I use. And I could not get it to sink in. So I sprayed it down with gray, and then I painted all over with dark blue that I used originally. And then I dabbed at it a little bit with the old what was the paint color I used? With another ice blue.
Okay, ice blue.
Yeah, duh. I was trying to remember what the stupid GW name for it was, and it's completely gone. So I dabbed it with that, and I gave it some highlights, and I was just like, yeah, this is awful. Yeah, it was real patchy, and it didn't take very well. So I went over it again with the same colors, basically, and just repainted it, and it's like, this is better. Why is this better? I don't know. But I got better flow on it the second time around. It might be a resin issue because there's no way I'm paying market price for old Battlefleet Gothic miniatures.
Yeah, no, gosh, no. No.
Yeah, I'd rather chew my own leg off.
That is an excellent segue into the last thing I've been doing for Hobby Time, which is trying to get my 3D printer back up and running.
Yeah.
Because
I've
GW
gotta-
has decided that they don't want to sell me any Skaven models. So guess what? I'm printing them. If you're gonna try and make me buy old metal rattling guns, I'm going to find someone who's made a better one. And that's the real thing about this. Is one of the things I dislike the most in the 3D printing community is here's an existing plastic kit, but you only have to pay me $5.
Yeah.
Because that's just intellectual theft. And
It
you can
is.
talk about copyright and all that stuff, but the reality is that you didn't put work into it. Half the time is you just scanned it and you just are putting it up to make a buck off of somebody else's work.
Yeah.
I have a big problem with that. I have much less issue with, well, here's my version of this. And, even if that thing is just my version has giant boobs, at least you put
Hi,
something-
War Games exclusive.
Yeah, at least you put some. Well, they make their own. And
I
mean
know.
like the 3D printing stuff. At least you put some kind of spin on it. But in this case, it's
Even
like
if those are giant Norks.
a rattling gun that is just done in resin that doesn't look anything like it, but is just done so much better.
Yeah.
And with how long old Skaven are, there's so many of those.
Or an old rattling gun that's just a straight rip from Vermintide.
I've not seen any of those actually, which is good because that's also I don't like that either when people just take video game models and just try and sell them. 'cause,
Yeah.
Again, same problem. You're not doing work.
Yeah.
You're not contributing. You're not
right,
making
yeah.
something creatively. But anyway, so I'm trying to get my printer back up and running. Giant pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah.
But it's warm enough, and I need to, But I want to because I've found a lot of great Skaven models I want to print.
Yeah. I am currently working on making... I found a great armature that is one entire piece that I can just print on my printer and get one armature one count of one armiger in a nice pose that looks close enough, and then I am going to put giant Gatling guns on both arms because I need some Helverins, and then I'm printing its own Gatling guns too. So I was just like, yeah, hey, rad, because now armigers are really, 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 really useful in Imperial Knights because that new book came out. So, and this also these are different enough that I don't feel like this is intellectual property theft, and, right? But they're pretty, they're easily recognizable as armigers, if for no other reason because they're the right size,
right?
But at the same point,
it gets the point across.
Yeah, it gets the point across without being like, oh, you just scanned this model in.
Yeah.
But, so I'm really excited to get those Gattlers on there. And it's just like, yep, these are Helverins. Aren't those things supposed to be autocannons? Yeah, well, these are automatically reloading cannons as far as I'm concerned.
Want from me.
Yeah, what else do you want, dude?
They just spin because they're awesome.
Mm-hmm. More barrels equal more DACA.
Yes. Put an orc in there.
Yep.
Well, that's it from us for this episode of the Adventures Rundown Podcast. Thanks for listening. If you liked listening to us babble, please leave a like and share it with your friends. Helps us out. If not, you should like it anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's no dislike button. And what else can you do? You are powerless. You are trapped. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, 2, maybe 3. It's actually probably going to end up being 4 because I'm going to be away for 3 of those weeks.
All right. Well, I guess it'll be the solo show again.
You can just stare into the camera, pontificating on whatever you like, CJ.
Well, if that's the case, I'll probably go back and redo some of the 1,000 points or busts for the new armies.
Can always do that.
Because that's easy to do.
But in one way or another, we'll see you next time.
Bye.